All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. So I moved back to my PreSonus IO44, a little bit larger device, and generally it requires a backup battery to work. So again, the information that I provided about going easier is valid. Oh, that's them trying to kill it. Right. So they should have. Something doesn't look right. Let me make sure this is all working. All right. Okay. Taking a look here. Test, 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 testing the audio. Looks like it's working. Test, 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 testing the audio. It looks like the volume went down a little bit. All right. We'll just go with this, I guess. The noise gate's actually a little better on this device because it has actually a double noise gate. I have the online one and then the one there. I probably could take the online one off. And this can use an XLR mic, but I haven't put that on there. I'm still using the lavalier. Hmm. There's no doubt if they were pulled off, I would have been healthy. 5 years ago when that stuff happened in Texas, I probably never would have left Texas if I just could have got my mind wrapped around what to do. I have no idea how they were able to do it. And again, of course, they started years prior. Same people. Right? Hmm. It's a mafioso type contract. I don't care whether it's cops or not, and it involves all of them. Right? They're all crooks. Crooks. Every last one of them's a crook. Right? I'd still probably be in Texas. 100%. I was actually starting to heal after Tyler when I went to Dallas. I knew they were trying to get me back to Amarillo to start a gay relationship with that other guy. I mean, there was no gay relationship with that person. Right? I investigated some stuff around that, but there was no gay uh, relationship. Uh, I thought, he may have been trying to do that because again, I'm naive, and he kept doing a bunch of stuff to me, like kind of weird. But he wasn't sexual, but he was like trying to what they call, I guess it's kind of a it's a trying to bitch me, right? That's what came up later. It didn't, and it may have came from other officers and stuff, right? So he may have been bisexual or something, right? Right. At a certain point, he said, "I realize you're a good guy," and I thought, I didn't think anything much of it then. Again, when it came together later, because he was probably trying to see if I was trying to be sexual with him or something, and then he get some money from me or something. Right. Well, it turned out the weird part is this: years ago, when I was molested as a child, the individual that did it had taken a trip to Texas, and it was like Midland, uh, or something. Was it Midland? It was just Lubbock, that area, the oil fields, right? And that's the area I was in. Right? And he indicated that that area had gay clubs and stuff like that. That was back like in the 70s, right? Uh, so when this is part that I never spoke about. So I was in Texas, and it was Amarillo. What they're doing is they're cursing me to be gay and to have gay relationships. So gay people see me, and gay homeless people or gay prostitutes will see me because they want that. That's what they want. Right? I had difficulty getting to normal massage, all sorts of stuff. Right? Not that I partook in any type of sexuality, right? But apparently that was where those things were going. But I was at a gas station near where I was living, And there was this guy, and it was weird because we caught eyes like you would with a woman, right? And I see him, and maybe cops they're undercover have had this happen to them, right? And I see him, and it definitely had something going on there. Because I'm marked, so he sees me, right? But again, it came up that he was possibly, like that, like a gay. What happens is, what I understand, psychically connecting, is that the homeless people aren't necessarily gay or not gay, right? Or the drug users too, right? And I'll explain that part too, because it goes into a couple things, right? And they're willing it. They just would keep willing it up and cursing me and spelling me and all that, and then blocking any other type of life. That's the only reason I'm alone is because I won't be gay, right? And then, of course, the next step is have to go to gay prostitutes or something like that, or have sex in a park, and the cops will arrest me or something, something like that. That's what they're into. They're all dirty cops, believe me, and they're devils. So I did notice something there. So the thing there psychically developed into the idea that they were looking for me to be with him, and like I could have lived if I lived as a gay man in Amarillo, I'd have found an apartment in a second. I may even have found health, right? But it had to be like a gay street person. Well, because they try to discredit everything, so their spells revolve around that. They're willing up that in my life. That's another term people use. So it appears there's like a gay prostitute or gay street person community in Amarillo, right? That they were trying to link me into. And so when I got to Dallas, that was like God blocking me from that having to be put into that again. So those investigators that showed up in Dallas were corrupt. They were trying to move me to something like that. Because where I was in Dallas, it was all, just again, the people that clean the rooms. One of the women that clean, she's about maybe a little younger than I was, about my age, probably upper 40s, lower 50s. She like I was just too sick to really take advantage of it at the time. And again, I don't rush into anything. But if I had stayed there over a period of time, her and I may have developed a friendship. Right? And again, it doesn't have to be her, right? She has friends and things like that. And she was a Latino. So what they're also willing up is relationships with undocumented immigrants. So like I would have one in my apartment harboring a, and they wanted to be gay. Right? These are the people that are around me right now. This is what they will. They're sick. They're not testing anybody. They're sick. So again, all that power is being misapplied. That should have been used. That power is supposed to be used for investigation and real investigation. Make sure. That kind of disappeared when I got to Colorado. Right. There was some will for me to be gay, but it probably it would be a lot less likely to happen the way they were looking for it to happen in Colorado. Unless I moved to a different community, and maybe that was one of the things they were doing, trying to get me to move to a different community. Well, probably my best bet was Garland, Texas, but I couldn't see to stay. Again, they were in my laundry and all that. I should have just said to hell with it and purchased a small washing machine, smaller than I had. Right. I actually hadn't, I guess I had given away everything at that point. Right. Right. There were so many different, in other words, they're watching real time. So I really needed to get to the 2-bedroom apartment before COVID. COVID was hitting, and I was thinking I found a 2-bedroom apartment that I liked, but I couldn't get to it. And I've been obviously better off. May not have even gotten sick. More space, no rugs, 2 bathrooms, would have been able more comfortable to take a shower, I mean, a bath, a salt bath, and that kind of thing. So again, they're devils and they're lucky like devils. This is Satan's planet. You have to remember that. They definitely have connections to criminal enterprise. Well, remember they were putting children's socks in my dryer. They didn't put it in my washer because they don't want what. See, that's one of the keys. Well, if you put it in the washer, it might wash the whatever's on the sock. They probably put some sort of substance, some sort of drug on the sock. They put it in the dryer, and they don't want their victim to speak about it. So they go, "Oh, it's because you molested a child, and we put children's socks in your laundry as an investigative technique." So just don't say anything, right? And that theory was started when I was in the martial. Don't say anything, right? So I had to get out of there because I knew I was being drugged. And that's what made me sick again. Yeah, thanks. And that dude, of course, was knocking on the wall the whole time. I thought he was a prisoner of war camp technology. They're criminals, man. They're not helping anyone. They're playing their own game. They're self-dealing. Thank you, Larry. Yeah. Like what they noticed, remember I posted those photos of me organizing all my cables and everything? They noticed that. That means you're getting well, right? So here's something with the LDS. Again, I gave the LDS a go. You should have to turn something down here, I think. Test, 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 test. I guess it sounds good. So I gave them a go as far as being a legitimate place. And again, I think 10 years ago in my life, if I'd have found the LDS, it would have worked well. Right. And I tried. 10, 15 years, I tried. I just couldn't see it. Again, they're real time willing it down because they know the same thing. Right. So it's kind of like spite from Satan when my health is real low. And they go, okay, now go to the LDS. And again, I gave them a go. However, I know there's dirty cops and crooked PIs moving within their community right now, trying to counter any ability for me to wire into that church. That's the key. And that's the problem with the end times, and one of the things we have identified as the heavenly host. So Jesus gave me scripture this morning and said, correct, the LDS is not for you at this point. Said this is Jesus said this is the key. But they're all mad, trying to block me. Right. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. The key is the burden is not light. Not to say they're not with Jesus, but it's not the place for me to be. And they get what they want. They'll get paid. They'll get a bonus. You kept them out of the church. That's how it works, man. The sickening world. They're disgusting, piggish people. They're most likely the legion of demons. No, they were probably born on this planet. What happened is those demon spirits were on this planet possessing. And then as they work the planet over, people accept them. And then they're born into bodies on this planet. And that's who's here. They are the legion of demons. They are the spirits that crucified Christ. When I woke up, God said the legion of demons never left. Christ made a mistake by putting them in the pigs. Once they killed off the pigs physically by possessing them to kill themselves in the water, they were free to roam the spirit in the spirit world again on this planet. Thanks, Larry. So they were part of what crucified Christ, but now they're part of this thing going on. Whether what one of the scams is, well, we're conservatives, so we're not deep state. No, that's not true, right? So Jesus gave me scripture and said, "You're right." Again, I went into the LDS church to be part of their church, but right. Well, it's just there's too much. It's too much there. Too much for me to do. Right. We agree, Larry. It's a well regulated church. So again, it just I don't need to worry. I shouldn't go to church and like have additional stress. Right. 100%. Well, it's again, if I had two missionaries assigned to me as my assistants, it would be easy. So again, what's going on now is I'm having a missionary relationship, and that's to get me in, get me baptized, and I understand that, and I'm not dinging it. It's just that's not going to be there once I'm in. They're going to be reassigned, right, and then it'll be over because nobody's going to hang out with me when they're followed by their local police or PIs, right? Dirty PIs and dirty cops. Every time they talk to me, they'll be followed. They already got face people in the church, and he tried to eye curse me. Right? You know what that actually is? I didn't want to say the word. Right? There's probably others. He's just the face person at that moment. Now, I talk to people. I can tell when there's something going on. Right? I mean, you can introduce me to somebody, and if they're part of it, they'll generally have a strange demeanor to themselves. I think it's a little cool still. I'd say, hey, are you looking at this weather? Right? It's kind of weird, isn't it? Right. When did it start? You all know. You all know what you did just for God to change the weather. Right. No, they destroyed the corrupt movement to block me from church. So the weather went to this nasty weather. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. I ate too many like granola bars. That's all right. I'm cleaning myself up. So this is something that happened yesterday. I mean, I'm just giving you information. I do this over the years to help you read things. So last night there was this bottle of hydration drink, electrolytes and minerals, and I thought that I had thrown the one away that was just sitting out for a few days, but that's what it was. So why did that end up? Now remember, it was created a few days prior to my order of electrolytes and minerals yesterday from Amazon. But when I ordered it, they cursed it. They cursed my drinking of that. Again, because health, whatever is health related, they curse it away. Their father's the devil. So last night, just shows you how curses work, because I've explained it before, how if they cursed me today, something was happening 20, 30, 40 years ago effectuate that curse today. There is no time and space metaphysically. So last night, I grab it just in the middle of the night. It's like, well, just drink some of that. You'll be okay. I drank it and it was bad. I only, took a sip, and then I took in my probiotic real quick, and then I took, a little bit later, I took my, uh, vitamin C, zinc, and elderberry, and all that. I just ward off an infection. Well, my probiotics are the one that also does immunity. Also takes care of immunity, like 13 strains or something. Yeah. Thank you, Larry. Whoever was watching that order, right, cursed it, or 15 probiotic strains. So one of the pizza crust things I'm trying to create would be Greek yogurt and cottage cheese. Cottage cheese isn't quite ricotta or anything like that, but it has a certain taste to it. It might actually, again, it's not going to be a pizza, but I'm trying to see if I can create the pizza without the mozzarella, right? Just using like cottage cheese and Greek yogurt. Now I'm going to go to the next thing. Actually,